Hey everybody, welcome back to Warhammer 40k Rogue Trader. We just got a new mercenary, an officer, but I wasn't really happy with what I made last time. I was pretty hasty doing it, so I went ahead and remade him. So here's what I ended up going with. I actually made him a sanctioned psyker similar to the main character, and I'll tell you why. So first of all, he's an officer. I gave him personal oversight. Whenever the officer targets an ally with an action, an ability or an attack, that ally's resolve is increased by +1 until the end of the officer's turn. This effect stacks and is prolonged until the end of the officer's next turn each time it stacks. So this is gonna stack more resolve for us. Focus also seems amazing. Whenever the officer uses an ability on an ally, that ally gains a bonus to the perception and ballistic skill equal to 4, and I think this is based on our resolve, right? Not our fellowship. Yeah. These bonuses stack, but half of the stacks rounded up are lost at the end of the target's turn. So this is great because both our main character and Idira, I think they use perception for the range of their skills, right? And we'll also need ballistic skill later on when we get a talent with Mrayse to increase our damage. So this seems pretty great as well. And then I made him a sanctioned psyker just because we can get this ability here. Word of the Emperor. All allies in a circle with a 5-cell radius gain +1 resolve until the end of combat, and this is based on our psi rating, I think. Yeah, 1 plus our psi rating divided by 2. And then every additional stack of this effect increases the resolve bonus by +2, which is amazing basically. We can just spam this every other turn. I also gave him, I think... Wait, didn't I also give him psi rating? Oh, I guess maybe not, because he only has 1. And then I also made him a Hive World character. Hive World characters gain +3 resolve if there are 3 or more creatures, allies or enemies in a 3-cell radius, and I think this is based on fellowship, yeah. So we're gonna try to do this anyway, because otherwise we're just gonna suffer a -2 penalty to resolve, right? But yeah, this seems great as well, and I think that's pretty much it, right? Didn't I give him some psi rating? Yeah, I did, right? Psyker Minoris. Oh, I guess doesn't show up here for some reason. I'm not sure why that is. So Psyker Minoris doesn't show up here. Or am I blind? No, right? Just not here. Huh, okay, interesting. But yeah, let's move on for now. Let's go land on our next planet. Raikadi Philia. Lord Captain, sorry to disturb you. Vigdis pauses as if listening to something. It's pandemonium outside the bridge gate. One of the officers seems to be demanding an audience with you in person. I think I hear Master Versarian's voice. In any case, I wanted to warn you in advance. Oh, we're going back to the bridge. Oh, this is the guy that we didn't talk to last time, right? Or chick, I don't know who that is. The everyday sounds of the bridge are disrupted by voices raised in anger, Abelard's voice the loudest of all. This is not the conduct of an officer. These are the antics of a highborn brat out on a lark. Explain yourself, Lieutenant. The young woman standing before Abelard strives with all her might not to quail under the onslaught of her superior's anger. She falters but then manages to look him in the eye and say, I apologize, sir, but I must speak to the Lord Captain. Very well, Lieutenant, you may address the Lord Captain, not least because I see you have already seen fit to disturb him. Your unauthorized appearance on the bridge and display of belligerence toward a higher ranking officer will be logged on your personal file without delay. Oh shit. Lord Captain, Lieutenant Avril Vent, requesting a permission to speak. Vent falls silent and then adds rashly, on a matter of extreme importance and urgency. I will listen to what you have to say. You may speak, but I want to hear a report, not a shouting match. Having 2 officers bickering in full view of the bridge is unacceptable. I will not tolerate this kind of conduct on my ship. Abelard, assign the Lieutenant an appropriate punishment. Lieutenant, you have 1 minute to stay... Lieutenant, you have 1 minute to state your business. Oh yeah, we're going with this one. Yes, Lord Captain. Listen to my report and punish me as you wish. But all that matters is that you hear me out, says Vent, a pleading note entering her voice. This matter cannot wait. Any minute now an assault unit will be dispatched to the lower decks on orders to crush the worker strike by any means necessary. But I am convinced that this step is unwarranted and that the crisis itself was provoked by the actions of one of the senior officers. Vent is almost trembling with tension as he delivers her speech, her face extremely pale. Wait, so is he saying that Abelard provoked the crisis? For the strike? Abelard, in no hurry to intervene, lets out a skeptical huff. He glances at Sourback, who is standing not far from him, but she maintains a stony expression. Sourback. Lord Captain, I urge you to investigate the actions of Seneschal Versarian and to intervene in what's happening on the lower decks, because very soon we will have a mutiny or a massacre on our hands. Vent reels off the last words as though she knows them by heart. She has clearly been preparing to say them for some time. When she's finished, she casts an anxious glance at Abelard, then at you. There's an insurrection in the making aboard my ship and no one has informed me? I would not deem it a problem worthy of the Rock Trader's attention. The lower decks, as it so happens, are in revolt. 30-some years ago, we even had a revolutionary leader rise up who dared to establish workers' rule across the entire ship. It took a month to restore order, but even 8 years later, we were still battling rumors that a hero had survived his execution and was on the verge of gathering people to fight against tyranny once more. Needless to say, the rumors were baseless. As for the current situation, we have sufficient enforcers to deal with it. Yeah, I mean, why solve a problem, right? Just throw more enforcers to it. But on this ship, the word of the Lord Captain carries more weight than a salvo from 100 bolters. I'm sure that if the Rock Trader addresses the malcontents directly, he will quell the unrest. I dread to think what problem you will disturb the Rock Trader with next. Perhaps you will ask the Lord Captain to break up brawls in the mess room? I have already given you the means to resolve this problem. You simply need to use them. If I may, your lordship, sending a hit squad to crush the rebellion is a means of ignoring the problem, not solving it. I mean, yes, he has a point. How did all this start? The situation could boil over at any minute, so I'll give you the condensed version. It all began when the enforcers found a cultist amulet on the body of someone who'd been killed in a drunken brawl. We reported it up the chain immediately, arranged for a cleansing rite to be performed, and opened an investigation. No heretics have been found alive, but the search has brought tensions between enforcers and workers to a head. And where does Abelard come into all of this? I shall explain. I beg you to hurry, time is running out. I will not hurry. Since my competence is under scrutiny, I shall speak for as long as I see fit. There is an established order to the way things are done on this ship, and one of the pillars of that system is that the Rogue Trader's attention is not distracted by trivial matters. It is a Seneschal's role to ensure that. I have always handled internal problems myself, so, of course, when I received information about cultists hiding on the lower decks, I took the matter in hand. So long as I live, not one of the vermin who murdered Theodora von Valancius will find refuge on her ship. My ship, Abelard. You were far too heavy-handed, Seneschal Versarian. Arrests, interrogations, mass punishments for entire sectors. It has driven the people to the brink. Now there's a strike on the lower decks, in Depot 4 to be precise. 3 water clans are involved, but many more are passively supporting them. The situation could degenerate into an all-out insurrection. But when I reported my concerns, the only response I received was an order to dispatch an assault unit and crush the strike with maximum force. So what is Depot 4? It's one of the poorest sectors on the lower decks. It's home to clans of general laborers. They are not as valuable to the ship as their families who have served its specialized systems for generations. They are an easily replaceable resource, and one which is now more besides giving succor to cultists and minions of the arch-enemy. Oh. Depot 4 is poor and troubled, but at worst that means drunken fights and illegal rotgut brewing. We have handled the workers of Depot 4 in the past, we would have done so again, if the crackdown on Depot 4 hadn't been so harsh. And another important point to bear in mind, the problem is not limited to this sector. It is located on one of the most populated lower decks, and everything that happens there has a knock-on effect on the neighboring sectors as well. Master-at-Arms, the ship's enforcers report to you, and yet you seem hesitant to provide your own perspective. Oh, I guess that's Sourback? Lord Captain, unlike Lieutenant Vent, I respect the chain of command and realize that it is not within my right to challenge my superiors. Oh, she looks cool. Sourback bows her head in Abelard's direction, however a moment later a serpentine smile appears on her lips. That being said, while I entirely share Master Versarian's opinion on what fate Depot 4 deserves, I must note that this insubordination is a direct consequence of practices that he himself has introduced. Oh dude, they're teaming up against Abelard here. Mistress Sourback, I see you have decided to follow the lieutenant's example after all. Such behavior does you no credit. Abelard, do you wish to respond? I see. It appears I have unearthed an old squabble. I would prefer to be left out of it. I mean, explain yourself, Sourback? The ship's regulations state that the Master at Arms is responsible for resolving all matters related to the ship's enforcers, and yet it is no secret that the Seneschal has a tendency to show partiality. Those enforcers and officers whom he has deemed particularly promising are at times given permission to approach him for tutelage. I mean, that's not bad, right? I cannot deny Master Verserian's experience and insight. The Seneschal has a record of fostering students who have indeed achieved much and demonstrated impeccable performance. However, extending such patronage over the head of their immediate superior encourages disregard for hierarchy among your lordship's servants. Today an enforcer goes to the Seneschal to report an order from the Master at Arms that they happen to disagree with. Tomorrow they will go to the Lord Captain to object to the Seneschal's orders. I notice a pattern in these actions. I mean, that kinda makes sense as well, right? So, okay, yeah, Lieutenant Vent, would you say the Seneschal has singled you out from your peers in any way? Lord Captain, I swear the Seneschal Verserian has never granted me any privileges, never once advocated for me, nor facilitated my promotions. Although, he is the man who convinced me to become an officer in the first place. He has offered me extensive guidance in my service, for which I am grateful to him. And while not all my fellows receive such attention, I know of at least a dozen fine officers whom the Seneschal keeps in his sights to ensure that they continue to strive. To prepare new generations of the dynasty's servants, to instruct them, and to separate those with potential from those who have exhausted it, that is my duty as Seneschal. The ship has base worth of pilots, enforcers, officers, technicians, and stewards whom I have raised personally. By the throne, every third person standing on this bridge right now was my student at one point or another. I mean, yeah, that makes sense as well, right? I don't think that's absurd. So, Abelard, do you wish to respond? Mistress Sourback, can you recall an occasion where I would encourage an officer to disobey their superiors? Or one where I would overrule their order, or show favoritism to those who have merited none? None, Seneschal, for there have been no such cases in the entire time I have served aboard the ship. If anyone were to claim otherwise, I would have them pay for insulting your honor with blood. Your conduct in this regard have always been spotless. Nevertheless, given your eminent position, a simple show of attention on your part is enough to erode the propriety of junior officers, inflate their sense of self-importance, and undermine discipline. That you distinguish some of them and know them by name is tantamount to walking around the officer's deck handing out gifts to officers who have caught your eye. It fills those you set apart with ambition and audacity, makes them stand out among the rest. Enforcers are meant to be faceless servants, fighters ready to die, their fate entrusted to their commander and no one else. That is the sole foundation of order. Huh. I mean, yeah, it's a grim universe, dude. It's a grim universe, but I like it. I see. Evidently, my officers are anything but a shining example of unity and adherence today. I have only myself to blame, I suppose. Okay, so Abelard, what do you have to say, man? I see no need to add anything. I acted within the remit of my authority, guided exclusively by the best interests of your protectorate and your personal safety. If you wish to confirm the rectitude of my actions for yourself, I have no objections. For my part, I urge the Lord Captain to go down to the lower decks, stop the assault unit, and speak directly to the people. You will see that they are not lying or harboring heretics. That way you will stop the uprising before it begins. I've heard enough, I'll go to the lower decks. I'm certain the Seneschal was acting within his authority, but I will verify the soundness of his decisions for myself. This matter is not worth the Rocktail's time. Leave the bridge and don't ever disturb me again. Now I will go down, see what it says. Praise the Emperor! Thank you, Lord Captain. Abelard grits his teeth slightly, an enterprise bordering on the sophomoric, but please yourself, Lord Captain. However, I categorically insist that I escort you. Lord Captain, I regret that the enforcers were unable to handle the situation, which then led to your and the Seneschal's involvement. I consider it my duty to go to Depot 4 myself and see to the expedient resolution of this incident. Okay. Oh, are we fighting? Okay, let's go. Please give me a good fight, man. Greetings, your graces. Hey, it's Versarian! Take that, scum! Oh shit! What the hell is that? It's a bottle of acid? Abelard reflexively wipes the sweat from his brow in a startlingly human gesture, and a telling one, a rare moment where he allows his age and weariness to show through his armor-like veneer of self-assurance. The lower decks are a source of endless problems. Sometimes I dearly regret that we cannot replace all the locals with servitors. The people dare to disrespect a senior officer? Yes. They would not have the chance to express such disrespect if we were not here, and if the situation had been dealt with by the relevant officers. It is a junior officer's worst failing to pass problems up to the chain of command. I have never been able to abide it. I shall say it again, it was a mistake to come here on Lieutenant Vent's whim, Lord Captain. I must admit that the lieutenant is by no means the worst material for an officer, but in the name of Terra, the girl is the same age as my eldest great-granddaughter, and she has the gall to tell me how to manage the lower decks and hunt down cultists. It will be another 20 years at least before she can be trusted to act without oversight. Okay, let's keep moving. Can we like get hurt from this? No, right? Huh. Lower deck rubble. Something resembling a nest made out of thermal insulation material. This must be where the workers sleep between shifts. What you doing there? He's just looking at the wall. Valve? Wait, what is this? I can't do anything with it. What are these valves? Okay. Wait, what? Why are there so many valves? Up. What was that? Awareness test succeeded? All this? A container can be seen beyond the massive bars. Perhaps examining the pipe will allow you to reach it. The pipe? What pipe? Huh? This pipe? The valve? I can't interact with those though. Huh. Dude, why there are so many valves here? We must be able to do something with them, but not sure what. Machine right set. Inside the box, a string of scratched letters runs along the edge. Different first names, but the same surname. It looks like this box has been passed down in the family from generation to generation. Okay, so we can't open this door.
I still do not see our purpose in coming here.
Yes, you said
Relax,
so.
old man. Going for a stroll on the lower decks every once in a while is good for you. Lets you see how the simple folk live.
Huge pipes, the arteries of the ship, run through many bays, delivering air, water, heat, and the propulsive force of steam. Sorry. Oh, there is Sourback. The sounds of a heated discussion reverberate through the ship's base. Lieutenant Avrila Vent of the ship's enforcers is barring the path of her superior, Master-at-Arms Yocasta Sourback, who has arrived clad in armor. Judging by their expressions and tone, the standoff has dragged on for some time already, and has now reached boiling point. Lieutenant Vent, my patience is wearing thin. I have given you an order, now get out of my way. I cannot comply with that order, ma'am. Vent looks shaken, but there is fire in her eyes. This is my deck and my sector. So long as this area remains under the Lord Captain's special oversight, no action can be taken without my express permission. There are only 3 people who are authorized to make me stand down. The First Officer, the Rogue Trader, and the Emperor himself. So not all my lessons fall on deaf ears. Abelard mutters in crabby approval. He does not clarify whether he means vent, sourback looming over here, or both. Your Lordship! Noticing you, the 2 officers snap to attention and salute, their subordinates following suit a moment later. We encountered some locals on our way here, their conduct was outrageous. They even tried to throw things at us. Yeah, okay. Vent's gaze is full of worry and regret. The people are getting desperate, clearly. They saw the assault unit and they decided they had nothing left to lose. I mean, I apologize, Lord Captain. It is outrageous. I'm sure the people simply didn't recognize you. It wouldn't have occurred otherwise. We will deal with them once the current situation is resolved. Is that all you have to say? Are you sure you're worthy of an officer's rank, Lieutenant Vent? Yep. For a split second, Vent freezes in fear, but she pulls herself together, straightens and clips out. Forgive me, Lord Captain. I will take steps to ensure such a thing does not happen again. I give the assault unit permission to open fire. Will crush the siege of Insurrection with full force. Okay, what's the situation first? Your Lordship, my people have locked down the bay where the strikers are, including their leaders. We have the situation under control as far as resources allow. Under control, Lieutenant? I came here to lead an investigative unit, and what do I see? The rabble is on the verge of mutiny. There is nothing left to investigate. This simply calls for immediate repressions and firing squads. And you, Vent, are a step away from facing charges yourself. Okay, let's speak to these strikers, dude. What do they want? Abelard's mouth twists, but he restrains himself and says nothing. Okay, yeah, let's go. Is there anything here? Nope. Okay, there says lower deck rabble. The enforcers have tormented us enough. Stager. Old Nun. Rivet. Wow, nobles from the upper decks down here to see us? A dozen pair of eyes stare apprehensively at you. The people before you are typical inhabitants of the lower decks. You take in their simple clothing, crude weapons, and faces that display varying levels of mutation, from the barely discernible to the strange to the outright grotesque. Okay. Rivet. A whisper passes through the crowd, and you detect a mixture of fear, astonishment, and joy in their reactions. Finally, 3 people break away from the crowd, an elderly woman and 2 men. These must be the leaders. They bow clumsily before you. Lord Captain, you have come down to us. We were attacked on the way here. How do you explain that? Here's an explanation for you. The people have been pushed to their limit, and now they're lashing out. As if we don't know why these top deck units are being sent down here. Like that one there that the lieutenant won't let past. Our clans are all inside the bay that's been sealed off, but the lower decks are big. I'm sure there are some people who had just enough. We're getting it from all sides. The soldiers have encircled the ones who have risen up. A death squad has arrived. It's no wonder folks are lashing out. Ooh. Their words seem sincere to you. Their body language and the glances traded between them reveal that the news of the attack has shocked them. Oh, okay. So, what's troubling you? Why are you striking? Striking? That's news to us, your lordship. All we're doing is asking questions, saying what we think. Shut up, Rivet. Here's the deal, your lordship. Your damned enforcers are all over us down here. They say they're looking for cultists. One wrong word and they're reaching for their batons. If they want to punish someone, they turn off the heating to hold base for a week at a time, so we get sick and freeze. In my clan, 2 little ones died from inflammation in their lungs, all because of these enforcers. Oh damn, dude. The old woman spits on the floor and rubs at the spittle with the toe of her worn-out shoe. Argenta? She does not interrupt the workers, but you see the sadness well in her eyes when the children's deaths are mentioned. She quietly whispers a requiem prayer and makes a sign over herself. It's all true. Vent is the only enforcer officer who stood up for us. It's clear as day who had a mother from the lower decks and who grew up amid ships and has no fellow feeling toward us. Your lordship, we're no villains here, we're honest workers, your servants. We've plotted no disorder, we went on strike openly, and now we've got guns pointed at us. All we're doing is asking to be allowed to work in peace, without being harassed. I mean, okay, did you actually hide a cultist though? The persecution started apropos of nothing, you say? I was told that one of you was found in possession of a cultist amulet, and there are heretics hiding here. Yeah. A cultist amulet? What is that? The Gigo they found the dead drunkard? Wait, how do you pronounce that? If it was something evil or forbidden, we sure didn't know. The enforcers just said that they were looking for heretics among us, and anyone obstructing their investigation would be punished. But how could there be heretics here? We know our own people, and there have been no new faces around. Definitely not, and if there were, we'd be first to report them. And as for this amulet, or whatever it is, they took it off a dead body. There are no cultists still breathing in our sector, that's for sure. But when that fight broke out, some enterprising folks looted the bodies. The boots they came back with, nobody ever tread these decks in boots so fine, I can tell you that. Seems to me these cultists have better commanders than us. Oh yeah, those boots were really fine. And there was no harm in taking them, right? As for the amulet, it must have been pocketed by someone who didn't know any better. We don't need any amulets around here, we all worship the Emperor. And when we are working, we bow down before the machine spirits of the large and small transformers and the servo motor, the same way my grandfather was taught 100 years ago by a tech priest who came calling. Believe us, your lordship, we are people of faith. Naive children, weren't you taught from an early age about the dangers of the arch-enemy's creations? Weren't you warned that any unfamiliar object could be one of them? We were told, Holy Sister, but it was a long time ago. The last time we saw a confessor in our sector, it was just after I had my little third one. That is regrettable, but you cannot lay the burden of leading a righteous life on the shoulders of the Holy Fathers. Who will you blame when beasts crawl out of the amulets you stole from the heretics? The Holy Father who was not there, or the scavenger who brought evil down on himself and his neighbors? Okay, Abelard, anything to add? I authorize the use of all necessary measures to locate Chaos worshippers hiding in the sector. The specific steps taken by the officers were not reported to me. Abelard frowns, clearly disgruntled at having to explain himself in the workers' presence. Nevertheless, I am certain that their actions were justified. Cultists are no drunken stevedores. They are the enemy and a threat to the ship. Neutralizing them demands decisive action. I mean... yeah, Sourback, was it really necessary to torture these people with cold? The rabble understands only one language, Lord Captain, that of violence. As per regulations, should the laborers persist in their unwillingness to cooperate, the next step is limiting air supply and cutting off water, which is almost certain to restore order. The peasants can grumble all they want, but in the end, they are the source of their own misery. All they have to do is bow their heads and fall in line, and the need for punitive measures will disappear. Okay, but like, what does that mean? Bow down? Like, how would they do that? You found the cultist amulet and then what? Like, what are they supposed to do about it? So what changes do you want? Would you look at this? The exalted Lord Captain himself is asking us bilge rats what we want. Well, here's what. We want you to rein in your damned enforcers, to quit turning off the heat, and to stop battering everything that moves. No, that's not it. We want the enforcers gone from here, and we want to be armed. Give us arms and we'll govern ourselves. We'll defend ourselves if these cultists do show their faces. I've been leader of my clan for 20 years. Getting rid of these club-wielding thugs can only improve things around here. I mean, we're definitely not giving them weapons. You've gone too far, old nun. They'll never let the maggots on the lower decks live without enforcers breathing down their necks. They probably even insist on enforcers on the upper decks too. As for weapons, what do we need them for? Before the first day is out, we'll have someone shooting their neighbor out of stupidity or drunkenness. We don't need that. If the enforcers stop hassling us, that'll be enough. In return, we'll find the scavengers who rob the cultists' bodies and we'll talk to them, one lower decker to another. If there are any more of those damned amulets about, we'll hand them over to the enforcers ourselves. You speak for yourself and your clan, and I'll speak for me and mine. I don't want empty gestures, I want real change. They'll promise us the world now, but as soon as the Anointed One turns his back, these brutes will be on us even harder than before. All because we dare to speak out. So, okay, the tall worker-sized dart between the two arguing leaders. Every few seconds he opens his mouth as if planning to agree, but each time he falls silent, simply making a few vague noises of approval. Okay, so what is this? Coercion 95. Spreading anarchy on the ship is the first step toward embracing chaos. Putting weapons into untrained hands will be even worse. What's more, the enforcers are needed to maintain oversight and order. Withdraw those demands and we'll consider the rest. I mean, yeah, this seems fine, right? I'll give the order for the enforcers to be withdrawn from this sector, and you will be given weapons. Let's see how you cope governing yourselves and what difference it makes. This unrest ends now. Everyone who was involved will be eliminated. Okay. So, Abelard thoughts? The story about going scavenging for boots and accidentally picking up a heretical amulet doesn't convince me. These people were moments away from rebelling and possibly becoming minions of the archenemy. We must not give them what they want. Even if they did acquire something innocently, purely out of their own stupidity, that does not mean they are not tainted with corruption. What begins as petty thievery can turn into a far graver problem. I have seen it before. In my second war, there was a sergeant in the Imperial Guard regiment that was stationed nearby. The sergeant took an ordinary pocket knife from the body of a heretic, and his whole unit lost their lives for it. When they finally managed to break into the barracks, they found not a single survivor. Only the pocket knife, which had grown through all the rows of beds like a metal choking vine. So when it comes to scavengers, malcontents, strikers, or whatever they'll turn into next, my verdict is simple: give them no quarter. And Sourback? Give the rabble a grox and they will take an ugly reward, Lord Captain. They only understand the brute force and will interpret any concession as a sign of weakness. Giving them weapons and recalling the enforcers would be folly. It would only be a matter of time before we had a full-scale mutiny on our hands. I mean, yeah, we're definitely not doing this one, right? I'm kinda between these two. I am playing heretical, so I kinda wanna do this one. But this seems like the logical choice, right? Yeah, so let's do that for now. Oh shit! The tall worker they call Rivet flinches nervously under your gaze, but he casts a glance at the old woman and says nothing. I don't like seeing the clans of Depot 4 at odds with each other, but I agree with the Lord Captain. I won't demand the disbanding of the enforcers. I'd rather be gunned down by the enforcers than back down now. They'll have us all killed anyway, sooner or later. So, okay, what happens now that we failed at? Then it's decided the harassment will end. I will expect the clans who have agreed here to assist in locating cultist amulets and weapons. Anyone who refuses will be punished. I mean, yeah, okay. Fuel and provisions. Dark echelons deal with the striking workers. Talk to the seneschal in calmer surroundings, okay. So, Old Nun is pissed. Sorry, Old Nun, I'm not putting my life and my whole clan's lives on the line because of your stubbornness. We are most eager to assist. We'll get right to it, Lord Captain. Okay. This is complete bedlam. Are you satisfied, Lord Captain? What did he say there? Then may I suggest we leave this circus and discuss everything en route? Yeah, I mean we can do that, but... what's up with those valves everywhere, dude? Do I like do something with them? This page is where the start of each shift is marked. The last mark is missing. The workers went on strike. Oh. Oh. Manometer. What is this? The gauge shows that the steam pressure in this pipe is close to the maximum. However, it does not reach the bars at the other end. Wait, what? What do they mean by that? Oh, I can click it now. Oh, not anymore though. Huh. Oh, some goods here. Multi-key. Oh, another one. Nothing is happening. Perhaps turning a different valve will work. Oh, do you have to do it like in order? The heat sink warms the air around it to a scorching temperature. This is the warmest part of the bay. The workers have even dragged deck chairs here. So we can't click this one anymore though. Yeah, I guess we have to do it in order. That's gonna take a moment probably, right? So... there was one here. Oh, we can go through this as well. Nothing is happening, okay. What about this one? Oh, actually, you know what? Let me just put one in front of every valve, right? Wait, what? That's gonna be a lot faster, no? Oh no! Wait, I can't separate them? Oh shit, wait, I can, right? There's no way. There's no shot. Abelard, stay here. Wait, what? Dude, what's happening? Sometimes it selects the entire group. What? Okay. Now it's working, I think. One here. So we have Abelard and Argenta. I guess Argenta can do both of these, maybe. Marace can probably do... oh, there's one here as well. And Abelard will go... okay, we can't go through here, so... Abelard will go over here, I guess. Okay, so Idira... that's not it, right? Oh no, what did I do? Did I mess up? Oh shit, okay. That's bad. Marace... okay, I almost messed up there. So Idira, this is not 8, right? Let's try Marace. Oh! Okay, that's definitely it. Abelard is over here. No. So, wait, does it reset now? No. Idira. Nope. Argenta. Wait. Isn't that everything? Abelard. Oh no, Cassia. Where's Cassia? Oh, here, down here. Wait, what? What do you mean? Is there another one? Oh, maybe Absalom. Oh, okay. Come on. This might actually be the last one, right? Okay, so it's not Cassia. Not Idira. Not Abelard. We can't do this one anymore. Wait, so which one are we missing here? Am I being stupid? Is there another one that we haven't done? We've done this one. Is there another one? Am I being stupid here? Are there more valves? So Marace is there. No, no! What? Who is coming? Oh, Marace. Okay, okay, okay. That was stupid. So it's not this one. Dude, I'm so confused right now. There must be more that I'm not seeing, right? Oh, here. Okay. Nope. Dude, come on. Oh. Oh, there you go. Come on, come on, come on. Oh, sick. Force grenade. Crack grenade? Oh, shit. 24 to 48. Deals 5 energy damage within the area and pushes the target's 2 cells away. If a target in this area fails a toughness test, it falls prone for 1 round. Oh, interesting. Okay, okay, that's huge. Holy. So we have to talk to Abelard now, right? How do we do that? To a quieter place? Is this quiet enough, or do we have to leave this place entirely? Oh, okay, okay, never mind. Stopping unexpectedly, Abelard imperiously dismisses the unit to stand at a distance and addresses your other companions saying, "I have an urgent matter to discuss with the Lord Captain. Please give us a moment." Well, are you pleased with your investigation, Lord Captain? You kowtowed to the disloyal rabble, you believed their lies and showed them leniency. Next time the ship is attacked by cultists, that rabble will welcome them in with open arms and allow them to wreak whatever havoc they like, because they see you as a weak leader. Is that how you see your future at the helm of the Von Valancius Protectorate? Do not speak to your Lord Captain in that tone. I mean, yeah, he has a point, right? There is some truth to your criticism, I guess. I should say so, you simply needed to trust me. I would have handled the situation myself had you not decided to intervene. Remember Lord Captain Theodora, do you think she ever set one slippered foot on the lower decks? No, she did not. Such matters were left to myself and the junior officers while she dedicated herself to the grand designs for the Protectorate, as any true strategist and rogue trader ought. Maybe if Theodora had spent more time on trifling matters, she wouldn't have wound up dead. There is a new Lord Captain aboard the ship now, and I will not repeat her mistake. I mean... It seems like a shitty life, man, to live in the lower decks, right? I feel like if people are treated better, they also work better. I don't know, maybe I'm too optimistic. But yeah, let's go with 1, I think. I commend your decisiveness, but I am uncomfortable with introducing new protocols in the midst of a crisis. And I lost my temper, Lord Captain, and I believe I ought to explain myself. The prosperity of the Von Valancius Protectorate is not just an empty phrase to me. I left the Imperial Navy for the chance to see it flourish. It was the most momentous decision of my life. I did it because I saw in Lord Captain Theodora's deeds the sign of true greatness. Rogue traders do not simply forge new routes and capture worlds, they create order out of anarchy. That creative impulse was entirely lacking during my time in the military. So I left behind everything I had ever known, everything my family had known. I come from a long line of officers, and I embarked upon this incredibly reckless venture. Lord Captain Theodora entrusted me with all the concerns she had no time for. She could go off on her flagship for long periods, to distant frontiers, on scouting voyages, and the advancement of the entire Protectorate rested on my shoulders. And then, suddenly, everything that had been built over years and years began to quake, rattling like a flimsy hangar on a seismically active world. One of the senior officers betrayed us all. The rogue trader was killed, and who knows what is happening on the planets. I tell you this honestly, without fear of appearing weak. All this has come as a grievous blow to me. I'm not panicking or grieving because I cannot allow myself to panic or grieve. I'm duty bound to aid the new rogue trader, to aid you, to find your footing as quickly as possible, and to do that, I must insulate you from problems that in the past have been dealt with by tried and tested procedures, set out in the ship's regulations. Procedures that were established long ago and have functioned smoothly for decades cannot suddenly be deemed excess to requirements. Theodora trusted in established procedures and she died. I won't make the same mistake. If you want to keep building the future of the Von Valancius Protectorate with me, stop living in the past. I understand, but you need to learn how to respect me as your Lord Captain and Rogue Trader. I mean, this seems dumb to say. The prosperity of the Von Valancius Protectorate is just as important to me. You're the only person who has comprehensive knowledge of how things are run on this ship. I think in the future I will follow your recommendations. Maybe? I value what Theodora created and I trust that the situation is an aberration in the ship's otherwise smooth operation. Since the established procedures are working, I see no reason to change them. I have seen plenty of sentiment and hand-wringing in recent days, but very little competence. I have no plans to rely on your judgment or your tried and tested procedures in the future. Ha, I mean, honestly, I have no idea, dude. I have no idea. Does any of this, like, actually matter, though? Huh. I mean, I feel like in the future, I might follow his methods more. But I also kinda wanna go with this one. We have to make some changes for the better, right? Or at least, I think they will be for the better. So yeah, if you want to keep building the future of the Von Valancius Protectorate with me, stop living in the past, yeah. Yes, Lord Captain. After a moment's silence, he adds, looking at you with interest. Your resolve is admirable and demonstrates strong leadership. I shall remember this moment, should my old habits ever begin to creep back in. And now, please let us leave the lower decks. If the rogue trader decides to stretch his legs, there are far more suitable places. Okay, I mean, I kinda expected more action, but I guess we'll get to it next time.